thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. The Lawyers and Podcast show is on tonight. Um, Interesting topic tonight. We have, of course, Donald Trump's inauguration was on the 20th last week, and now that they basically have sent Jim Crow Joe back to Strenton or wherever was from, checked him into a nursing home. Now business have picked up with Trump 2.0. And of course, the mass deportation has begun. Tom Homan starting in Chicago, Illinois, and now the Latinos are begging for help from the Black community. Black people, of course, we are minding our own Black business. Let's get right into it. You see, we have been basically under siege by the Latino communities, because a lot of these immigrants, they have basically came over to the United States, right? And so what they were doing, they were staying to themselves. They were not wanting to do anything with Black people. They were basically trying to, come over to the United States and get a bag, and they were not participating and fighting in any of these wars like Black people were doing. And so these Democrats was basically giving them a bag. They were giving them all kinds of money so that they can get food and clothes, stay in hotels. Some of them was even complaining about the type of food they were eating. And I was like, man, how the hell can some freeloaders come over to a country they're not from and talk about the food and be picky about the food that they're eating? I was like, wow. But anyway, the mass deportation has started, ladies and gentlemen. The mass deportation has started. Yes, Trump is back. And this is going to be an exciting 4 years, because now you got a lot of Black people who just now getting into politics, and they're talking about the fact that Trump had basically signed an executive order allegedly rolling back 1964 Civil Rights Bill and all of this. And of course, you have to remind yourself that executive orders are only temporary. They're not basically bills that can be enforced after a certain period. The DACA into office. Into executive order. The DACA didn't last that long. They had to be renewed because of executive orders are not bills. So you got a lot of Black people who just don't know what they're talking about. Okay, some of the executive orders, of course, that he signed into law, basically, if you look at the laws that he basically signed them against, they really wasn't doing anything for or against Black people anyway. I mean, just tell me, just look at the fact that the Civil Rights Bill, as Amos Wilson taught us, are only good as its enforcers. If you don't basically enforce a law, then what good is the bill? That's what you have to understand. Okay, that's the reason why Amos Wilson taught us laws are only good as their enforcers. But there's also something else that must be discussed here tonight on the Lawyers and Podcast show, and that is the executive order that he signed, sending these illegal immigrants back to their hometown, making it clear to these illegal immigrants, if you're going to come into the country, you come in legally. And so I had those questions for these illegal immigrants. I asked these illegal immigrants, I said that if you're wanting to come into, America, right? And if you're crying all over the place, talking about you're coming over here to the United States to, run from whatever problems or terroristic situations that you have back home. I'm trying to figure out, why are y'all coming in Black communities? Okay. This was my biggest problem with what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was doing. They were basically sending these people over here and they were in black neighborhoods, okay? And they were getting money to basically maintain their lifestyles while the American citizens was basically begging on the streets, homeless. And we were basically against this. And so we did the right thing by removing these people out. The black folks in Chicago is doing the right thing by basically working with Tom Holman, the Bartazar down there, and other people, getting these folks out. And the ICE raids have begun. That is important. The ICE raids have basically begun, and this is good because we talked there about illegal immigrants engaging in crime. And they also are doing this in the black neighborhoods. And then the police come and then try to blame and say it's black people. So we're basically looking at what Trump 2.0 is going to look like. Thumbs up, like, and share, subscribe. I'm not going to be on here long. Before we go in deep into the conversation, of course, I want to talk to you about what we're going to be planning for next week, or probably on Monday or even next week. We're going to be talking about the crisis of Hollywood and why Los Angeles is burning. We had basically people like Charleston White out here talking about, hey, Hollywood is an evil place. Well, I mean, it could be evil. Basically, that's probably why, you didn't get no, contract. Is it evil, Charleston, because you didn't get no contract? You're not in a Hollywood movie or whatever. Nobody taking you serious, in comedy or whatever. Whatever you call yourself. I don't even know what this man is doing, though. But Charleston White, we'll talk about him Monday or next week regarding him calling Hollywood an evil place or whatever. And I'm not saying that he's not wrong about that. Of course, Hollywood is an evil place. It is filled with so much corruption, so much wickedness, of course. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're focusing on the mass deportation. And we got to understand that the black community, this is not our fight here. Black people are always trying to jump on somebody else bandwagon, being somebody savior. And that was the problem with the sister girlhood that black women thought that they had with Kamala Harris. Remember, you had a lot of these black women thinking that these white women were going to, be on the same, same task with them, thinking that they were going to vote Kamala in and build some type of sister girlhood thing. And then when she lost, and that's when these black women start to indicate, oh, well, we don't have a sisterhood situation with these white women, because the white women have done what they always do, and that is to side with their men, just like a reasonable, comprehensible woman, female will do. They will side with the man, okay? The only one who don't side with their men are black women. And this is one of the reasons why the black community is in shambles right now, okay? There is no sisterhood coalition with these other women and these other groups, okay? There is no black and brown coalition with these Latinos, Hispanics, Asians, or whoever, okay? As Dr. John Henry Clark taught us, we have no friends. And we don't owe these other groups any help, okay? We don't owe these group of living. We don't owe these people saving them just because they've been mass deportating. There's mass deportation back to their country. We don't owe them nothing, okay? As Dr. John Henry Clark taught us, the only thing that we owe these other people is an ass whooping. That's it. The ideal here now about these mass deportations, and so we had a lot of TikTok videos that were sent to me. A lot of videos sent to me I've seen also on Facebook and on TikTok and on all of these other YouTube and videos and platforms is that the Latinos are basically asking for Black people to help them. That this basically, when Biden was in office, they didn't need our help, right? Oh yeah, when Biden was in office, they were showing their ass. They were basically all dressed in their new clothes that they were getting from the Biden administration. They were going and cashing out all of the food stamps that they were getting from the Biden administration. Remember, they were, like I said earlier, they were being picky about their food. And then when you went to Publix or Kroger or the supermarket and stuff, you go into the aisle and all half of the damn bread was gone. I was like, the hell, this is getting on my goddamn nerves. And we was at the store, we were like, damn, man. As soon as these people came over here, man, all of the damn food and the bread and all the damn stuff was going off the shelves real quick. We were like, damn, these people need to go back to their own country. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And of course, I get along with Black women a lot. I know y'all talk about I don't, but I do. Now, here's the thing. Now, these white folks, let me get on them for a minute. These white folks, especially the white liberals, have brought these people over here to undermine us. Okay? Now, they know that they know that we were going to, wake up sometime or someday and say, wait a minute, why are they keep on dumping these illegal immigrants in the Black community? See, these white CEOs on these farms and all of these other places, they don't want these people in their neighborhoods, and they basically tell them to go to the Black communities. Well, you got to understand the Hispanic community don't accept these folks easy. Okay. And so instead of them coming to the Black community, why did they not put these people in the Hispanic and Latino community? Okay. And that was the problem. Black people is always the dumpster and the garbage can for all of these other groups. And we're sick and tired. We got sick and tired of it. Now, we're not talking about the Black folks who's over in the other communities, because those are Black people who are helping the white folks with their own ecological system. Those Black people don't have the right to talk about the Black community because they sold out the Black community a long time ago. And that's why you have certain types of Black folks on here trying to be savior of these Latinos. You had some Black dude on here talking about, oh, well, here's what I can tell you. If you're a legal immigrant, all you have to do is stay silent and blah, blah, blah. No. Stop basically trying to be savior for these other people. Okay? These other people are not going to basically help you. When Joe Biden was in office, what did the Latinos do for the Black community? These people basically have been told by these white folks that they're better than you. And they will stay in your neighborhood and play soccer. They will basically set up shop in your neighborhoods and will not do anything with you at all. Okay? Nothing. They learned that from the white folks. But of course, the white folks have to interact with us because white people cannot have a stable economic system without the Black man. Okay, so they have to interact with us. Okay, there is not one particular group of white folks who basically can run this country without the relationship that they have with the Black man. Now, they teach other groups, hey, don't come over here into the country and don't you dare hang out with them Black folks. And so you have the Haitians, and then you have the Ethiopians, and they basically stay to themselves, don't they, Black men and Black women? And what they'll do, See, they'll build up their own sections in our neighborhoods, and they'll build up a little Latino store. And then the Asians, of course, the Chinese, they will all have these communities where they're in our neighborhoods. And then these white banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo, and these other banks, they will basically give these Indians and these Arabs, they'll give these people, Hispanics and all these other people, they'll give them loans. Now, if these other groups told them, hey, well, we're going to try to build a store or some business in the white neighborhoods, then that's basically when the banks will deny them because the white men don't want them in their neighborhoods. And then they'll come back and say, well, we'll build a convenience store in the black community. Oh, you've been approved. You've been approved. And that's exactly what they've done, which is why the black man does not have control of his own community, you see? And that's what Malcolm X taught us. He said that the black man should control the politics and the economy in his own neighborhoods, you see? And so that is our biggest problem, that we are not controlling the economy of our own community. And thanks to the white liberals, continue to bring these illegal immigrants over here and destroying our ecological system where they are building up their ecological system in their communities. Okay? So black people actually think that we're living in a diverse society. A lot of black people think that we're living in a multicultural society. And they will basically argue you up and down. Okay? And so they will basically tell you and stuff about why we should basically finance these other people's group. And then the religion becomes the spoiler because then when they start, invite this religion into everything, which I have no problem with, but then religion gets you as the other black person to become, they'll look at you as the enemy. Why? Because, they'll say Jesus is colorblind, you see? But so when we have this issue here about the fact that these illegal immigrants were coming over to the United States, right? And basically when Jim Crow first got in office, right? Remember that? Let's go back 400 years ago. When Jim Crow, they announced that Jim Crow won. Y'all remember that? Well, when he was running, ladies and gentlemen, he basically said that I will give the black community reparations as long as the Native Americans get it too. Do you remember that? Or do you black folks just basically want to hear what you want to hear when these Democrats and these liberals are in office? When he got in office, he gave the Native Americans billions of dollars, okay, on these reservations. He then gave the Afghanistanis, or whatever you call them, billions of dollars. And then he started investing in these illegal immigrants. He started giving billions of Ukraine, billions to Netanyahu to fight this endless war in Israel and Hamas and all this stuff. And so basically he was spending money out of the country, which is why a lot of American businesses were going undersea. They were basically failing. They were going out of business because all of the money was basically geared towards going to fighting wars. Or they were geared towards fighting going to these illegal immigrants. And the illegal immigrants, basically, they were going back home and they were giving their own family the remittances that they were getting from the United States. Some of them was. So it was very much important for these mass deportations to go on now. The mass deportations that we basically needed in the country because these illegal immigrants were going to come over here. And as soon as they get citizenship, they were going to spat right in our faces as black people. They were going to basically, they was going to come into our communities, just like what happened in the 90s, right? You had Black people, of course, in South Central Los Angeles. You had Black people in Compton, California. And if you go down there to places like Oakland and South Central LA, and also in Compton, nothing but Latinos now. Okay. See, these people have to basically go where the Black community is. If the Latinos and these illegal immigrants, let's say they went to some state where there's mostly white folks were, right? The white folks in those states and cities are not going to let them overrun them in their neighborhoods. Okay. They're not going to go to the Siska. You can't go to those states and basically take over the communities in those cities, right? And so what the white liberal does is he basically gets you to think that, oh, you should be out here helping everybody. Oh, no, 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 no. Mm-mm. No, no, no. It is not the Black community's job to help financially all of these other groups. It's not your job. Your job is to focus on the Black community. And that's the Black woman's job. And so we sit at home, right, Black men, because our women was not giving us any attention, was they, Black men. And we said, we're going to set this out. Now, to remember what we said, remember the first time that Jim Crow Joe got in office, and 1 year into the office, you remember they were saying that they didn't need Black men, didn't they? And then they got way down to last wire and decided that they needed these Black men to go out there and vote. And 80-something% of Black men did so. But the rest of the Black men, we said, no, we're going to vote the couch. We're going to build a coalition. And we're going to put Donald Trump in office so that we can get rid of these illegal immigrants. Exactly what we had done. So we basically, we're loving a Trump 2.0. Okay? Now, and you might say, oh, y'all just love these white folks, these white conservatives. The white conservative, it's important to keep the white conservative in office. They're even talking about giving Trump a third term. But it is important to keep these white conservatives in office. The white conservative basically is the reason why we know that white supremacy exists, because the white conservative doesn't try to hide their racism. That's the problem that Black people don't get. Malcolm X tried to teach us this. The white liberal, he's going to play games with you. He's going to pretend like he like you. He's going to feed into your frustration. No, you need the white conservative, because the white conservative is going to get straight to the point. He's going to say, no, nigga, we are not giving you nothing. The white conservative has always been direct. The white conservative basically is the one who is going to make sure you understand what the business is. Whereas the white liberal is going to bring all of these other groups and then say, well, we're going to help everybody. And then we're going to give everybody some tangible benefits. And yeah, this is going to help the Black community. And you people of color, we're going to do this, we're going to do that for you. And then, of course, nothing get done. Whereas the white conservative, of course, is going to say, nigga, we're not giving you a damn thing. And that's exactly what Black people need. Okay? You don't need nobody shuffling and jiving about what you're going to get from them, especially a politician. The politician that you elect, that you go out and vote for, got to be pretty much, straightforward with you, or else he's lying or she's lying. Okay. And one of the things that we like about Donald Trump is that, yes, you can call him racist. I'm not going to sit here and basically tell you that I don't disagree with you. You know, I'll be joking when I say, oh, Donald Trump is back in office. That's going to get the basically that we need to keep conservatives in office because the conservative politician has always been straightforward with us. The conservative politician has always told us what, like I said earlier, what the business is. Okay. So in Chicago, they're doing ice raids. They're supposed to be doing ice raids all across the country. And you got a few black people, like I said, that's coming to the rescue of these Latinos. And these Latinos are wanting the black community's help. You have to understand there were some Latinos who actually also voted for Donald Trump, by the way. Remember? Okay. Now, they didn't vote for him to basically move the majority of the needle because black men did that. Okay. What ended up happening is that the Latinos have voted the way they always voted. The Hispanics have voted the way that they always have voted. Okay? 64% is typically the amount of the Latino vote that the Republicans get all the time. Okay? But who got Donald Trump over that line? It was the black man stand home. I told you in the early videos who was going to basically call this election. I told you that the black man was going to call the election. Okay? So, therefore, the vast majority of people who think that that it was the Latinos, these are people who are fooling themselves. The Latino vote did not basically get Donald Trump over the threshold. The white media was out there saying the same thing, wasn't it? That's because, of course, the white media is not going to give us no recognition. The white media is against the black grassroots. They try to ignore us. They try to find ways basically to say, oh, them Negroes down there, them troublemakers online, don't listen to them. We don't listen to them. It was the Hispanics and Latinos who got Donald Trump over the field. And that's a lie, because the Latinos and Hispanics have always voted Republican at a majority. And they have always been a situation where they basically side and vote just like white people. And who come in and break the tie and often vote for the Democratic Party is black people to get the Democrats over the top. And guess what? That's when the Democrats get in office and they start showing their asses by doing everything for other groups. And then they do nothing for black people. Okay? Now, and so that's what we have to understand here. Okay? Now, these mass deportations, by the way, are basically, not only is the mass deportation is happening, but they're sending troops to the border as well. So this Tom Homan, well, I said this is going to be funny, man. That Tom Homan is like, we're going to get them on out of here. And so the Black Chicago people, they're working with this Tom Homan dude. And they're getting these illegal immigrants up out of our country. And the white farmers, they were just on the news talking about how none of the Latinos or Hispanics showed up to work for them after Donald Trump had taken office. And that's unfortunate, because we're going to still need farming. Of course, don't get me wrong, we'll still need farming. But if basically you have other people in here, poor people that is willing to do this work. There is some people that's willing to do the work of farming. Okay, you're just gonna have to eke out those people, or these illegals have to come in the right way. That's just the bottom line. Okay, that's just the bottom line. Okay, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel here. Now, like I said, we're going to be basically doing other commentary on Monday, or probably Monday or Tuesday. And we got some good video essays here. Okay. Also, look at the description. If you're going to send me some trending topics, that's okay as well, because we basically we gotta basically have some more trending topics. And I got an email from this black chick who wants me to do a commentary on why black women are single. I said that will come up. I will try to get that course, why the black woman is single. That's an interesting topic that I need to basically touch on. And so we'll have that coming up, and I'll let you know on Instagram and Facebook when I'm going to be doing that. Okay. A lot of things that we're going to be talking about. Also, like I said, Los Angeles is burning. Hollywood is in crisis. We're going to be talking about that. And we'll talk about other things here regarding more of these mass deportations. I want to basically go into depth talking about the fact that, like I said, they're asking for black people's help. The question is, black people who are listening, are you going to help these Latinos? Put it in a comment section that if you're going to help these Latinos, right, what are you going to help them do? Okay. Now, I see, though, that there is a black female who is a immigration attorney, and she is telling these Latinos, these illegal immigrants, that you have a right to stay silent, or she's telling don't volunteer any information to the ICE people. If the police or somebody stop you, she's giving advice to these illegal immigrants. Okay. There is other black people who are also helping out, and we're asking these black people, for what? What have the Latinos did for the black community? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. I mean, just put it in the comments section. I'm waiting. When you basically are fighting the white supremacists, like, for instance, where were the Latinos during the Jim Crow era? Okay, there was a black professor who tried to say that during the Jim Crow era, and during the 60s or whatever, that the Latino communities was helping us. I'm like, where? Where were they at during the civil rights movement? They were not there. They were not present. Okay? Put in the comment section, where the Latinos was, if they were not coming over here to take all the tangible benefits while we were fighting these white folks. What was the Latinos doing at that time? What was they helping us at? You see, you black people, you got this situation where you think that every time that something happened to these other groups, you got to jump on that bandwagon. That's one of the problems that we can't get the black woman to sit down, because she's jumping on everybody else's bandwagon. And then when the white women told them, no, we're going to basically side with our men on this. Oh, now we black women, we're in our resting era, and blah, 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 blah. And got mad at other black women who they were calling pygmies just because they were siding with the black man. You see that? But I want to know from from you all who have voted and who wanted Kamala Harris to win, for instance. For you all who wanted Kamala Harris to win, and you're listening now, put in the comment section What was Kamala Harris going to do for the Black community? And what did Jim Crow Joe do for the Black community? Just give us some examples as to what they've done. I'm waiting here. And the answer is not a damn thing. All right? They were focusing on the illegal immigrants because, as I said in my earlier video essays, that this was the third or fourth Reconstruction here. Remember, when Reconstruction happened in the 1870s and 80s, Black people were basically investing, had all kinds of businesses. They had all kinds of things during Reconstruction. Okay? And then these Democrats, they showed up in the 1920s and 40s, Black people were building Black credit unions. And then we were firebombed, our business was firebombed by these white folks in the government. And then that's when, in 1960s, that's when the white liberals start to basically pass the civil rights legislation to integrate us. In fact, as I said earlier, in my last video and other videos, white people push integration on us more so that they can control the economic potential of Black people. That's the reason why you cannot get a business loan. And then they start coming up with credit ratings and all this sort of stuff. And we basically lost out on an economic advantage that we had in our own communities. And then right after the FBI killed Dr. King, what happened? That's when you start getting an influx of illegal immigrants and white people from Europe, other part, or white people started dumping their immigrants over here. And remember, the white folks at that time was saying, oh, you white people in the UK, y'all are going to get a lot of money over these Black folks. And they start paying them a higher salary from the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. And now you see that the wages are coming down because they are saying right now, we are not just going to give these white people in the United States this high salary just because they're white. The CEOs have had enough of paying these white people a salary just because they're white. So now what you have now is a lot of white people up here upset, and they're going on TikTok and other platforms. I don't want to live no more. What is going on? I got to work 3 jobs. Oh. And he's like, well, what's the problem, white folks? What's going on? It's the 1%. The 1% is doing this. Oh, no, my God. The 1%. No. You see, you came from a European country, or you're a white person who basically did not get the tangible benefits that other white people have got in the United States. And then if you're an immigrant, you came over here from a European country, and you were just left out in the cold. But you still had what? Your white privilege. Okay? And so the illegal immigrants are doing the same thing. They're coming over here, but the only difference is instead of staying in the white community like you white folks in Europe was doing, along with the wages that the white American corporations were giving you, instead of y'all doing that for the Latinos and the others, the Latinos went to the Black community because white folks did not want them in their neighborhoods, and they start to advance in economics, you see. And they started to use the Black community as a crutch so that they can build themselves up and then build their own neighbor communities and businesses in our neighborhood, and then turn around and look at us like crap, like they better than us, which is why we basically do not want these other groups now coming in and taking over the Black community. We have had it with that game. And that's the reason why we got Kamala Harris and Jim Crow Joe Biden the hell up out of the White House. And then, of course, black men, we are basically doing something else that I was surprised and shocked about. That black men are not going out to eat or going out to the clubs and the strip clubs and stuff. Black women, you remember back in the 80s and 90s, when you had a black man sitting around, gone somewhere, you probably had to go out there and snatch him and grab him up out the strip clubs, right? But now we found it that, black men are just not going out to these clubs anymore. Black men are not going on dinner dates anymore. Black men is getting their passports and they're saving money. And that's scaring the capitalists because the capitalists are used to black people going out on what they call Black Friday and spending. And then, of course, Walmart put its foot in its mouth and black people boycotted Walmart, remember? And they boycotted all of these other companies. And now it was like, wait a minute. The capitalists are panicking. What in the hell is going on in America? Why are these black folks saving their money? Why are these black folks not buying up a lot of stuff at these restaurants and going out to the clubs and going to the strip joints and all this other stuff that black people used to do? Basically, they are not going out as much as they used to. I was basically driving yesterday, and I was like, let me see what's going on in the nightlife. And I went to a popular club called the Central Station and passed by there. There was not that many cars in the parking lot. That parking lot at Central Station is typically packed. And where is these black men doing? Is these black men saving money? Is these black men getting their passports and they're going overseas? And they are upset, and we're going to talk about this, where these black men are not showing up to the single events either. And we'll talk about this. I told you in the emerging of a new black man that there is going to be a different type of thing moving forward, that we as black people are not jumping on board for these other groups, and we're minding our own black business. I want to thank you for listening to the Lawyerism Podcast Show. Join me Monday when we talk there about the crisis of Hollywood. We're going to also talk about how Los Angeles is burning and what's going on with these wildfires. Take care.